What's good, guys? This is Vahagraphy. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. Thank you for joining me in another lens review. Today we're reviewing the Sirui 16mm f1.2 autofocus APS-C lens for your Nikon Z mount cameras. Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the brand right, Sirui, but it's a Sirui 16mm lens, wide angle APS-C autofocus Z mount. So what does this mean? On a crop sensor, you're at about a 24mm equivalent 1.2 on an APS-C body. Perfect for your APS-C cameras or shooting it in crop mode. So Sirui sent me this lens to test out, to review for you guys. Right off the bat, the construction, it feels okay. I give it like a 6 out of 10 build quality wise. It doesn't have the heft. It's a little lighter, which is a good thing because, your APS-C cameras defeats the purpose for them being heavy. So it's not a heavy lens, but it's not a light featherweight either. There is a little bit of weight to it. The autofocus ring feels okay. It's right in the middle, not smooth, not too wishy-washy. So it's right in the middle. It's kind of smooth, I would say. The good thing about this lens, and I think what stands out the most for me, is the fact that it's a 1.2. So you're going to get a lot of light in your sensor for those dark environments. But first, here's some technical specifications of the Sirui 16mm lens, and let's get this review started. Alright guys, as the tech specs are flashing on the screen, this is the Sirui Sniper Series 16mm f1.2 autofocus lens Nikon Z mount. Now, the regular price of this lens on B&H right now is $399 US. There's an instant savings of $79.80 that brings the price to $319.20 on the making of this review. This is July 2024. This lens comes in a black option and a silver option. You can update the firmware on the lens right in the back when you take the back cap off with a plug-in. This lens comes with a front cap, rear cap, lens hood, lens pouch, a limited 18-month manufacturer's warranty. Sirui is dubbing this lens an ultra-fast, wide-angle prime designed for use with APS-C format Z-mount cameras. Here is a look with the hood attached to the 16mm lens. Sirui, you kind of have to work on this a little bit. It doesn't really feel like the best attachment when you're attaching the hood to the lens. It feels kind of cheap and plasticky. I'm sure you could improve on that one. So this is the way it looks with the hood. Should we do some sample images? Let's go out. I want to shoot some images at night. Lightroom open with the raw files loaded. As you can see on the top left here is the file name, the raw file, the settings, the lens name, so you could do some reference while you're watching the sample shots. And on the right, you're going to notice that, I had my Nikon Zf with me. I'm going to show you what 10.6 megapixels, a resolution of 3984 by 2656 can do. I just want to say that the Nikon Zf records DX at 10.6 megapixels. So let's get that out of the way. These are raw files and let's get started. Okay, so the first shot right here, as you can see, is shot wide open at 1.2 ISO 320. Focusing in right here in this hallway picture of the hotel, and wide open, as you can see, focusing in right around here. And I just want you guys to see the bokeh that this lens produces. Again, crop sensor, you're at about a 24 megapixel equivalent here, so 24. So this is a DX lens. So on a DX body, this lens is gonna capture at about a 24mm full frame equivalent focal length. Okay, so the bokeh here, it's pretty nice at 16 mil. focusing in again right here on the right. Moving on here to the next shot. Here are my settings on the right. Let me go ahead and click reset. So everything is reset to a shot status. And here's the Wynn and Encore Casino. That's where we were staying. And at night here, ISO 400. Again, the settings are on the left top. Walk around lens, I kind of like it, you know. Again, this is 10.6 megapixels. So if I go ahead and zoom here, go ahead and zoom in to the file, 10.6 megapixels. That's pretty good. Now, if I do my little bit of adjustment here, I could bring it up just a little bit like this. A little bit of contrast. I want you guys to see this shot as and what you can do with these raw files when you're editing in Lightroom. So let's go ahead and press reset again. A shot. So let's move on to the next sample image here with the Sirui lens. Let's see. All right, here is a vertical of the Wynn Casino. I like the lines of the Wynn Casino. This is a really good street kind of, you know, walk around lens. Again, it doesn't cost too much money, and you can go ahead and make your adjustments here. Bring up the foreground with the shadows, and everybody has their own little editing, the way they like to edit. This is ISO 400. Zoom in here. These are all the little lights in the rooms of the hotel. Pretty cool, huh? Again, zooming in here, zooming out at 10.6 megapixels. DX on the Nikon Zf with the Sirui lens. Let's move on to the next sample image. ISO 100. So this shot right here, I wanted to kind of play with the shutter speed and slow it down to look at how slow I'm shooting this image at. 0.4 second exposure, 6.3 on the lens, ISO 100. This is all handheld with VR on, by the way. I'm not walking around with the monopod. I'm not walking around with a tripod. These are all handheld shots. 0.4 of a second, not even 1 second, 0.4 of a second exposure. 6.3, you can see that I captured a slow shutter speed to capture the car, trailing of the car lights here. That's what gives it a nice little cool effect. Again, these are all handheld shots. All handheld images at 6.3 ISO 100 raw file. Pretty clean, huh? Not bad for 10.6 millimeter. Not bad for a lens like this. Look at the detail of the ground here and the lights of the car. Moving on to the next image. Again, same thing here. 1 second exposure, 5.6 ISO 100. Fashion show, Las Vegas Mall, right across the street, and you got a car here at 1 second moving. Captured that. That's the streak of the car here. But yeah, ISO 100. 5.6 is the aperture on the lens. 10.6 effective megapixels. If you're gonna be blowing these stuff up, obviously if you're doing like a 16 by 20, you can print 16 by 20 with 10 megapixels, no problem. Anything bigger, probably you would want to shoot full frame. Here we go. This is one of my favorite shots. I like the light here. This is the wind screen, and you get the light. It's shining the light right on these trees in front of the Palazzo Hotel. And you can really play with this when you're editing. I mean, look at I'm bringing this thing up. This is a shot right here, but I'm bringing this thing up like this. I mean, just look at these raw files, guys. You can do work magic here. You can even take this sign off, the AI generation nowadays on Lightroom, and just play with it. But look at how clean these files really are. 3.2 ISO 500. 1/60th of a second handheld VR on. The next shot here, again, slow shutter speeds. I'm experimenting with slower shutter speeds. 1/3 of a second,
f4 ISO 100. Now, the story behind this image is this is the walkway across Las Vegas Boulevard, and there was a little gap here on the sides. I mean, they put this protective glass so people don't jump on the street. So you can see the reflection on the side here of the glass. I'm resting the lens on the glass, and it's helping me with keeping it steady. And look at just how slow the shutter speed is here on the left. So you can tell, like if I zoom in here, I'm pretty steady here at a very slow shutter speed, ISO 100. And we're capturing, focus is in around here. This is where the focus is. Again, these reflections on the side is that protective glass. There's nothing I can do about that. It's just the way it is. There was a little gap in the middle. I'm shooting this in that gap. Here's the background. And again, I'm focusing in right around here. Same thing here, same location, but I'm doing a vertical shot so we can get less of that glass on the side. Again, this is 1 second exposure at f8 ISO 100. f8 ISO 100. Focus is in the foreground here where the street is. And again, this is handheld, so if you're going to be doing serious images of street photography and they're important images, I suggest you take a tripod for serious images. But I mean, this is just for the review. I just want you to get an idea of the lens, the colors, and everything you get. And this is all street lights here. 1 second exposure. Again, a 1 second exposure. I wanted to get this. This is handheld totally. I wanted to get the water effect here. With the waterfall here at night. Again, man, you can do so much with this. Bring it up, bring the highlights down, and just have fun with editing. I mean, this is what it's all about, right? Add a little bit of vibrance to the shot. As you can see with the water, let me zoom in here. 1 second exposure. You can really bring out those streaks in the water, those trails. And this is handheld at 1 second. VR ZF handheld APS-C DX. 10 megapixels. What else? What do you guys think? At night, ISO 100. Again, here's the settings right here. Get the detail here on the wall, the rocks. I like it. I mean, it helps to have good lighting. But again, 1 second exposure, handheld. You can't go wrong with it. Let me just go ahead and play with it just some more. Take down those highlights, bring in some contrast, clarity, and you can really make this thing a masterpiece with Lightroom. Shoot raw, guys, of course. This is again 1 second exposure, ISO 100, 6.3. The Treasure Island here in the middle is the world famous Mirage. That's Treasure Island. And the Mirage is closed. So this is a piece of history that's not going to be here anymore. You guys seen Vegas Vacation with Chevy Chase? They stayed at the Mirage. This is a piece of history. So this hotel will be gone. I'm standing right by the Wynn Shops, and I'm taking a really wide shot of this intersection here, Las Vegas Boulevard, and I think I forgot the street name here, but Treasure Island. Again, this is 24mm equivalent with the Sirui lens, 16mm 1 second exposure. I'm at f6.3. The lights here, got a little bit of star effect in the lights, the water. Pretty acceptable for 10 megapixels. Again, you can play with it. You can bring it up at the shadows. Look at that. If I bring it up the shadows here, let's look at this. You can actually see the stars. Really nice raw file. I really like what Nikon did with the ZF. You want more megapixels with an APS-C, then buy a Z8. I mean, you're going to have about 19, 20 megapixels to play with. ZF is a 24 megapixel file. So this is a 1/13th of a second, ISO 250. I really wanted to capture these signs without burning them out, so that's why I close the shutter a little bit faster. And again, handheld, kind of reduce the highlights here. so the detail doesn't go away, what you see on these billboards. The quality, again, all the lights, the street lights, the buildings. This next image I edited a little. Okay, here's my settings. I edited this shot, one of my favorite shots of the evening. Here's the sphere, the world famous sphere. And this thing is moving. I mean, there's an image that's moving on the sphere, but we're at a 1 second exposure, f13 on the lens. This thing stops all the way down to f16. So f13 on the lens, ISO 100. You can see this is f13. Here are the corners of the image. I'm at a 1 second exposure again, capturing the car streaks of the lights and the world famous sphere at night with the palazzo on the foreground and the sphere in the background. Let me go ahead and reset this so you can see what it looks like shot as. That's what it looks like shot as, guys. Moving on to the next sample image. Here's a nice little wide shot of the wind again. Just want you guys to see f2.2, 1/60th handheld. The bokeh, I want you guys to see the close-up. I'm at f1.2 here, wide open, just focusing on this Jimmy Choo logo here in the window, and everything else in the storefront. This is a storefront, so everything else in the back is out of focus. This is the bokeh at 1.2. Some more indoor shots. It looks like you're outdoors. This is the world famous Venetian. It looks like you're outdoor, but you're actually indoor. If you've ever been in Vegas, it's kind of cool. This was like a 12 midnight. Kind of a cool place to visit. Here's restaurants and shops. My focus is at aperture is at 1.2, 1/125th of a second. My focus is right around here, and you can just see the background blur here that this lens delivers. Cool little shot of this old car. This is all natural indoor light, but f2.0, ISO 500. Here's another shot of the light here, a little close up. Again, f2.0. Bokeh here on the right. It's not too bad. Not too bad. The Sirui lens is delivering. Walk out, and here is a shot of Harrah's, the Venetian, the water here in the front. That's Caesar's Palace here in the back. This is 1/25th of a second, f2.5, ISO 500, all handheld shots. What do you guys think of the detail? Again, 10 megapixels. I'm trying not to, the whole point of this is not showing off the detail. I just wanted to see what you can get with the 10 megapixel file. What this lens produces at night on a DX lens, with the DX lens. So reflections of the water. Treasure Island again. f2, 1/100th of a second, ISO 500. Let's play with the exposure here. Let's go ahead and bring up lower the highlights, bring up the shadows. You can actually see the clouds. Wow. Dynamic range, guys. Here's another shot of the Treasure Island. Again, 1/20th of a second, f2, ISO 100. I like the blue light that I'm getting. It's the reflection of the other building across the street. It's casting a blue light on the building. As you can see, they're very clean, the files. And pretty acceptable shots, being handheld at 20th of a second, VR on. Almost coming to the end of the sample shots. Here's the palazzo in front, and this is f2 again, almost wide open, 20th of a second, f2. Nice detail here of the steps here in front. That's the corner of the image. Ferragamo. Who likes Ferragamo shoes? Palazzo. And here's the building in the background. Look at all these cameras. Vegas got a lot of cameras. They're watching you everywhere, everything you do. The good thing about Vegas is that you get these lights flickering in and out, so the blue light is shining in the foreground of this building. And we even got somebody looking on here. Who is that? Yeah, no, it's pretty acceptable. 1/13 of a second, 2.5, ISO 100.
Hey guys, chiming in here real quick. If this is your first time on Vahagraphy and if you're enjoying this review, do me a favor guys, subscribe to the channel. It actually motivates me to do these reviews more often. So if you want to see more reviews, my style reviews, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and give a thumbs up to this video guys. It helps with the algorithms in YouTube. You know how that thing goes. So subscribe, like, share, and check out the Sirui. Hey guys, just out of curiosity, the Sirui lens, third party, and then in my hand I have a 20mm S-line Nikon lens, okay, the real deal. So these two are both wide angle lenses for your Z mount, but obviously one of them is a premium lens. But I want to see how they stack up. They're not exactly the same exact focal length if I were to shoot the 20mm, but I'm going to give it a go. Let's do this. 16mm APS-C, that's 24mm 1.2, and 20mm. I'm thinking of shooting it. Should I shoot APS-C? You're going to get about a 30mm equivalent. Yeah, let's record both on APS-C and let's see side by side what the differences are. Going native, going more expensive, going premium glass versus what the Sirui can do. This Sirui lens will shoot both at 1.8, maybe 1.2 versus 1.8. I don't know. Let's try it out real quick. All right, guys. First up is the lens we're reviewing, the Sirui 60mm f 1.2 autofocus. Recording this video clip. Now, I wanted to keep this setup the same. This is the segment of the talking head portion of this review. Obviously, I was using another lens to do the intro, but now I have the lens that we're reviewing here in this video on recording at 1.2. Obviously, it's a native, it's an APS-C lens, so it's going to record in TX mode. We're recording at 1.2 right here, right now. Let's see how close this thing can actually focus. Let's set it at 1.8 so we could bring in the Nikon lens at 1.8 and see the differences real quick. Okay, stop down just a little bit at 1.8. Okay, 1.8 right now with the Sirui 60mm lens. Again, you're at about a 24mm equivalent, a DX crop. So this is 1.8 with the Sirui. All right, how's it looking? How's it looking? Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Sirui 16mm doing video 1.8. It's a 1.2 lens, but we're recording 1.8 here. Let's see. Let's play around with it a little bit. Focus. Are you getting an acceptable wide angle with this APS-C lens, guys? What do you guys think? Now you ready to bring in the Nikon lens? Okay, so keep in mind the 20mm lens is going to be a little bit, not as wide because it's a full frame lens, so you're going to be at around a 30mm equivalent shooting DX. Yes, we are shooting DX on both lenses, but you know what? I might just shoot full frame with the 20 as well, just to get an idea of what shooting full frame with the 20 looks like real quick, comparing these two lenses. Let's slap on the Nikon Z 20mm 1.8S lens right now. All right, we have the Nikon lens on the camera now. Again, at 1.8. This is native Nikon 20mm 1.8, shooting it at 1.8 with the same exact camera settings that we had with the Sirui lens before that. So again, we're shooting DX mode. This is a full frame lens, but we're shooting DX mode. It's going to be a little bit tighter shot, but you get an idea. Close focus is on this lens. Man, this is spectacular. I can't wait to show you guys a review. Review coming soon, but just to get an idea, let's look how close this thing focuses. I mean, there's no comparison. This is why you're paying the big bucks. Look how smooth the focus is. Look how fast the transition is. Look at that. It's Nikon glass. Nikon glass. Not to disparage the Sirui, but this is real Nikon Z glass. 20mm 1.8, shooting it at DX crop mode. Same settings. I'm just gonna switch it from DX to FX on the camera. And I want you to get an idea of what you get with a full frame. There we go. Full frame 20mm 1.8S lens. This is the magic of full frame. This is a real 20mm focal range, and it's a 20mm lens. You're getting 20mm, and you're getting a nice wide shot. Full frame. And by the way, I didn't change any camera settings. Camera settings are the same. The location of the tripod and the camera is exactly the same. Just look at the quality. Look how close this thing focuses. This thing is just such a great lens at 1.8. Full frame, 20mm. And, being full frame, this gives you an added advantage of special effects, when shooting this close, this wide. You can just be creative with your shot. Imagine I'm holding a drumstick right here, and the artist, is just, bogalicious in the back. You get an idea. But yeah, smooth focus, full frame. This is why I love full frame. Like I said, not to talk crap about APS-C, because APS-C is great. The price, the value, the cost of cameras, and the reach. But when you're shooting wide angle like this, I'd rather have it the wider the better. I mean, it depends on what I'm shooting. So there it is. There's the comparison. Nikon versus the third party. How do you pronounce this? Sirui? Is it Sirui? That's an Armenian name, Sirui. But Sirui, hopefully you guys got an idea of what this lens can do. Hopefully if you're in the market for these kind of third-party lenses, this video helped you out. This was the whole goal of this review. Now, if you're looking to save a little bit of coin, if you have APS-C lenses, if you want something that's fast, when it comes to aperture, I think this is the lens you can consider. Obviously the build quality is not going to be the best. You know, there are some drawbacks when buying third party, but there's also some positives, like saving a little bit of money. You're always gonna have better results with a Nikon Z lens, especially the S line of lenses. They're gonna cost you some more money, but this is a pretty cool option, you know? This is a pretty cool option, yeah. So especially because Nikon doesn't have a lot of APS-C options out there, native APS-C options out there. So this might, you know, just tickle someone's fancy. So take a look at this, guys. Take a look at this. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the sample images and videos of the Sirui lens, 16mm 1.2 third-party autofocus lens. Before I close, I just want to say that these third-party manufacturers from China, and they're coming out with some cool options for us Z-mount shooters. You know, Viltrox, they're doing a great thing. Sirui, and you know, you name it. There's a whole host of other third-party lens manufacturers, and I'm so glad that, you know, Nikon has opened up their mount and giving users, photographers, videographers the option to pick and choose and how much money they want to spend. So that is a plus. All right, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. This is Vahagraphy. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. We'll see you soon. Rock and roll. Hey, the famous Pawn Stars. So I found this place on YouTube, bro. Off the strip, chickpeas. Persian rice, kebab, chicken beef, shawarma, salmon, shrimp. And my favorite, man, lamb shank. Or sabzi right here, bro. That's the best. And all you can eat for 20 bucks.